Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Life Wisdom Vlog. This is episode number 2. If you did not yet catch episode 1, I'm going to put the link right here so that you can go ahead and watch episode 1 of the Life Wisdom Vlog after you watch this one. I'm here with my Jedi friend Grogu right behind me, behind my right shoulder. It's probably on your left side of the screen though. And I don't have a Grogu mug today because I was actually drinking coffee. I have this lovely mug. And I was drinking coffee this afternoon as I'm filming this. So I don't have my green tea. I usually drink the green tea when I am filming in the morning. But I happen to be filming at night, not at night, in the evening. Let's put it that way. In the evening, I'm filming this vlog. So we are going to continue with the first of the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. This is a book by Dr. Deepak Chopra. I tell all about it in the episode 1 of the vlog, so I'm not going to go over the story. But we are going to continue with the first principle, the first law of success, which is the law of pure potentiality. And the theme for today's vlog is going to be finding silence, which is one of the 3 principles of how you can find pure potentiality in your own life. And I'll probably cover nature as well, which is the 3rd. We're going to skip the 2nd one, do it in the next vlog, which it would be episode 3, because I think the silence and the nature are actually pretty closely linked. I'm sorry if you hear screaming children in the background. That is beyond my control. Those happen to be my neighbors that are screaming right outside my door. And so please do. Those are some of the noises you can't necessarily filter out in post editing. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for subscribing below. Click on the bell and click to all notifications so you can get all notifications of all of my upcoming videos. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. It helps YouTube to know to recommend the video to other people, as well as your comments below. Again, those 2 things, thumbs up and comments below, tend to tell YouTube that people are interested in the content that I put out on the channel. So let's explore this finding silence. And I'm going to really tie it into the first vlog, the first lesson vlog of this series on exploring life wisdom. So the law of pure potentiality is about expanding your consciousness, expanding your awareness to the infinite potential of who you are. And in the first vlog, we spoke about internal point of view versus external point of view, also referred to as object referral versus subject referral. And I did mention that in the book that I wrote and published in 2020 called Heal Yourself or Return to Wholeness, the Integration of Body, Mind, Soul, and Spirit. In this book, I really explain the principle of that self-referral versus object referral that I speak about in the first episode of the vlog. So we're going to expand upon that now. We're going to expand upon how can you really expand your awareness into the realm of infinite possibilities? Because if you think about it, think about your day. Just for example, think about your day. In the course of your day, how often or for how many minutes in your day do you access silence? I mean, total silence, not just those glimpses of silence, but I'm talking about like total silence. How many minutes in your day do you experience total silence? Is it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 0 minutes? And when I speak about accessing silence, I'm talking about not even looking at your phone, because when you are gazing at your phone, when you're looking at a device, computer screen, a phone, when you're looking at social media, when you're even browsing like photos on Instagram, that's not silence. That is still information input going into your mind, going into your brain. It's an external source which is providing stimuli for you to take in. So you could be browsing Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat in silence, but it's still information coming at you. It's still information coming into your brain. And so that's not total silence. Okay. So we are talking about no information coming in that you're consciously doing, right? Because we always have stimuli coming in, but the stimuli that is coming in can sometimes be in a very passive form. So, for example, if you are walking in a park, you do have certain stimuli coming in, but you're not like actively seeking it, if that makes sense. So, I'm talking about you are in this space of silence. You're not talking to anyone. You're not texting anyone. You're not listening to anything in particular, albeit a video or a podcast, the TV, whatever it is. You're not actively browsing on your phone, reading messages, reading emails. You're not actively doing anything. You are just observing silence. And, you can observe silence while you are actively doing something that is what we tend to equate as mindless work, right? So when you are doing the dishes, for example, you could observe silence while doing the dishes. You could be driving your car and observing silence while driving your car. So there are certain activities that don't require a whole lot of cerebral activity. That's kind of a second nature type thing, in which you could actually, if you select to do so, you could actually observe silence. And then in that way, you are bringing more silence into your life on a day-to-day basis. So I really want you to think about that right now and put in the comment section below, how many minutes a day do you actually observe silence? So again, if you elect, I'm just giving this as an example so that it can get the juices flowing in your brain. If you elect to, for example, turn off all music and podcasts and audiobooks and everything in your car once a day for, let's say, a 15 to 20 minute drive, and you're not talking to anybody in the car, or maybe there's nobody in the car, and so you're really by yourself and you're not talking on the phone, that would count as that 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes of like observing silence. Okay. You might be driving, but you're not necessarily actively doing something else, which is going to bring information in toward you. So there's that. The second would be the more obvious, right? So if you were to practice silence and meditation, that would again be a more direct form of finding the silence within your day. And so if you meditate, and I'm not talking, now this is going to get tricky, guys. It's going to get super tricky. I'm not talking about guided meditation, because in guided meditation, you're not finding the silence. Somebody else is feeding something to you. Somebody else is feeding words into your mind. Somebody else is guiding you into that silence. But guiding you into the silence is not the same thing as actually experiencing the silence, because still somebody's talking to you. So I could perfectly well guide you into a guided meditation for 30 minutes, and it would bring you to some sort of meditative state, but it is not the same as experiencing that silence by yourself in and of itself. So you're not really experiencing that silence. You might touch the higher spiritual self that is within you, or, it's always, within a very close range of your physical body. But you may touch upon that, but you're not going to really experience that full on silence. So silent meditations, even if you're using a mantra on the inside of you, and that's the type of meditation that I teach, would be really embracing finding that silence within you. So that would obviously count, right? So just think about it. How many minutes in a 24-hour period right now, as you're listening to this, think about the last 7 days. So within the last 7 days, how many minutes of silence have you observed? So there's that. And then you might be thinking now is, why is observing silence necessary for me to experience infinite possibilities? Well, let's reverse it just for a minute, because I really would like you to think about how you have operated on a human level up until now. So whether you're 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, or 100 years old, or any of those ages in between, there have been a number of years that you've lived on Earth. And in those numbers of years that you've lived on Earth, I would wager to say that for most of those years, you haven't really been in silence. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, throughout all of those years, have you increasingly had more limited abilities in the way of thinking, right? So you think about limited potential, where you're only accepting a very small portion of what is actually possible for you. So throughout our lives, we become more restrictive as to what we believe that we truly can do. And I have these conversations with people I coach all the time, believe me. When I talk to people who are changing careers, who are changing positions in their company, or wanting to get a new degree, or wanting a new position, or wanting to increase their money, for example. So I talk to people all day long about this stuff. And what I hear time and again are these limiting beliefs. That's what I hear time and time and time again, are limiting beliefs. And what are those limiting beliefs? They're just self-imposed beliefs that they have come to believe, and it's normal for them. It's real for them. It is something that they have repeated to themselves over and over and over again. Like, I don't have the education, so I can't make this amount of money. I was never educated. And so if you believe that to your core, you're going to have a limiting belief about your earning potential. So that is limited potential, limited possibilities. And so there is a direct correlation with experiencing silence and not experiencing silence, having limited possibilities when you don't experience silence ever, or on a very limited basis, maybe a minute or two a day, if that. And then having this mindset of unlimited potential. So when you are silent, and some people, I'm sure you've heard the expression, silence is God's one and only true voice. Silence is God's one and only true voice. I'm sure you've heard that expression somewhere on the internet. So when you experience silence, you do experience higher spiritual states, and it allows you to expand your awareness, expand your consciousness. And so that is why finding silence in your day is probably the most important thing that you can do in order to increase your potential. Okay, because remember, most of your limited potential is in your own brain. It's in your own mind. It's because you've put these limiting beliefs on yourself. It may have started with somebody else putting those limiting beliefs on you, but it continued with the stories that you told yourself. And so by finding silence each day, increasing in that silence each day, you're able to touch on something else. Now, that takes me to nature. Okay, so I said that there are three things that will help with the infinite possibilities spiritual law. The first is finding silence, especially through meditation, silent meditation. And the third is communing with nature. And so, communing with nature and in silence is a really quick way to access this. So, when we commune with nature on any level, whether it's petting your animal, like your pet, or whether it is walking along the shore of an ocean, or swimming in the ocean, or walking through a forest, climbing to a mountaintop, whatever it happens to be. But when you are really communing with nature in silence, and I'm not talking about going on a hike with 45 people and talking to everyone while you're doing your hike, which is really nice from time to time. That's certainly what I did during COVID. And you get both. You get, some social activity with nature. But when we're talking about silence, we're talking about really you communing with nature by becoming one with nature as you are in silence, experiencing nature. So I'll give you an example. I really love to walk by the ocean. Most times when I'm walking by the ocean, I have headphones in and I have my phone set to Pandora or Apple Music and I'm listening to something, or I'm catching up on my phone calls and I get to talk to people. But from time to time, what I do like to do is have no headphones, no phone. It's in my backpack. And I'm just walking along the ocean by myself, talking to no one. And I do this for about an hour, hour and a half at a time, where it's just me, the sand, the ocean, and the people that happen to be around, but that are not with me. And so in that way, I'm able to find the silence while I'm communing with nature. And I marry those two elements together, and it helps me feel more rhythmic with the universe, rhythmic with the circadian rhythms. And if you are not doing that at least on a regular basis, and when I speak about a regular basis, I mean at least once a week, then you probably are feeling very disconnected from nature. You're probably feeling very disconnected from spirit. So those two principal things, finding silence in your day, communing with nature at least once a week in silence, in order to begin to expand your field of potential. Those are essential, guys. So essential. And I mentioned before, I have been a life coach since 2008. And believe me, I've heard the gamut of excuses. I've also taught meditation since 2009. I've taught probably close to 1,000 people. I mean, that includes I also did programs with the Chopra Center as well. So that was like many people right there, where I was teaching mantras. So, I mean, I've taught a lot of people silence and meditation. I've coached a lot of people. And, I do hear the same things over and over again. And let me tell you this, if you're about to make this excuse, some of the excuses that I hear are like, how can I find silence in the day? I've got 3 kids. I've got a husband. I've got a wife. I've got 3 dogs, like whatever it is. And you can always come up with excuses, right? You can always come up with excuses as to why you cannot do something. But you do have a choice. And the choice is, I can choose to find silence in my life so that I am not limiting my own potential. That's the choice. I mean, if you were really happy with the way your life was going up until present moment, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. You probably wouldn't even have clicked on it. But chances are, if you clicked on this video, you either just like to hear my voice and see my face, which thank you very much if that's the case, or you're having a really hard time finding silence in your life. You're really having a hard time finding peace and serenity in your life. And you're really having trouble with this law of pure potentiality, finding infinite potential in your life. You're feeling really limited. So if that's the case, it's almost like medicine, right? And in that case, it becomes medicine, where the medicine to cure this limited potential, this medicine to cure the chaos in my own life, the medicine is finding silence. That is the medicine. So you can choose to take the medicine, find the silence, or you can choose to just continue to live in chaos. It's a choice too. But which one will you choose? Right? That's up to you. So I hope this was helpful. And in the next episode, we're going to discover the third or the second real component of the law of pure potentiality. And we'll wrap up the law of pure potentiality in the next video, which will be next Sunday. So thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for subscribing to the channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with others who are on a spiritual journey or who could just use a little bit of life wisdom. And thanks so much for your support. You can, pick up one of my books. You can join my meditation course. It's amazing to find that silence within. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.